Adam Taxon talking with Sherwood Duke Brooks, Delaware Republican Examiner, about his latest article, Businessman Jeff Cragg Vies for Governor's Mansion. Duke, welcome, and let's get started by just giving an overview for those of us who have never heard of Jeff Cragg about who he is.
Well, thanks very much for having me aboard today, Adam. And Jeff Cragg is a very, very interesting guy. As I mentioned in that brief article, he looks the part on paper and in person. Jeff is actually originally from Minnesota. He has lived in Delaware for about the last 20 years. And Jeff grew up in the insurance business. His father started with a company that I believe was called Northwestern Mutual Life, or Washington Life, a big Midwestern insurance company. He started at the bottom, and his father retired as the chief executive officer. And Jeff worked in the insurance industry for about 24 years. He now owns a franchise retail store called Mailboxes, Etc. in Wilmington. And I'm presuming that Jeff did so well in the insurance industry that he's in a very, very strong position right now.
Right. Self-financed?
I'm sorry, say again?
Is he largely self-financed?
I would guess that he is. That was not really a subject that we discussed when I interviewed him yesterday afternoon here in Sussex County. But of course, if you're going to get into politics at almost any level, especially statewide, you've got to have some assets and resources of your own that you can draw upon if you want to be taken seriously. And I would imagine that Jeff is a person that does.
Okay. What are his principal arguments? What is his principal appeal in a heavily Democratic state like Delaware? Or is he hoping that Obama will lose by so much that he might be able to sneak in?
Well, I think, and of course I can't speak for Jeff, but based on my knowing him for the past couple of months and my discussion with him yesterday, Adam, it seems very clear to me that Jeff believes that Delaware, and there's no question Jeff believes Delaware is overtaxed and overregulated.
Sure.
These are two things that liberal Democrats just love to do. They love to tax people, and they love to regulate people. And these two things are a 1-2 punch that will ultimately, always, without exception, will have the effect of reducing the number of jobs that exist and the number of new jobs that can be created. And this is what Jeff really wants to do, is to reduce the taxation, reduce the regulation, so that small employers and people that live in Delaware that just have the idea that they want to start their own business will actually be able to do so without creating a ton of paperwork and having to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars on legal fees and filing charges and copies and compliance with various department regulations and all that kind of stuff. It's counterproductive.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about Delaware's current governor, Democrat governor, and where he stands on all these things.
Well, I can't really speak for Governor Jack Markell. He was first elected in 2008. In 2009, Governor Markell was the chairman of the National Democratic Governors Association. He came to government after being, if I am not mistaken, the founder and chief executive officer of the Nextel Corporation. So he was a major corporate player. He is a Democrat. I understand he is a nice guy. But Governor Markell, like most Democrats today, seems to be a person who believes that the solution for every single problem is more government.
Sure.
And if it is not higher taxes to discourage this while transferring tons of money to people like Fisker and Bloom, $50 million transferred to Fisker Automotive and Bloom Energy. Fisker took the money, they took the former General Motors plant, they mothballed it, and I guess Governor Markell waiting to hear from those guys in Finland, which is where they plan to be building their electric cars using American taxpayers' money. And, you know, I think a lot of people probably believe that the governor should have thought that through a little bit better and perhaps should have made a better decision with the taxpayers' money in that particular case. But certainly I have nothing against him personally. Frankly, I've never even met him.
I had a feeling that might be the case.
Guy. I'm just not a big government liberal Democrat myself, that's all.
All right. Well, thank you for the time. The article, again, is Businessman Jeff Cragg Vies for Governor's Mansion. I've been speaking with Sherwood Duke Brooks. If people want to find out more about you or subscribe to your columns, the best thing to do is Google Delaware Republican Examiner or your name, which I guess you're listed as Sherwood Brooks. There's no Duke in there. And thanks for your time.
If a person wants to read and follow my column about twice a week, I put in a new article, examiner.com, and just do a search for Sherwood Brooks, and there I will be.
All right. We'll talk to you again soon, I hope.